First things first, guys. How are you?
We're fine, thank you.
Yeah.
Very good to hear. So before we get into the music you've been making lately, I'd like to jump back a little bit. Do you remember the first time you noticed or saw each other?
Wow, that was really a long time ago. That was
Love at first sight.
love at first sight, yeah. 2009.
Okay.
We did the same school in Breda.
Okay.
That was NHTV. I think they call it now BUAS. It's Media and Entertainment International
Yep.
Studies. Yeah.
And what was your first impression of him?
Well, I skipped the introduction where the students in the beginning they go on an introduction week and they trying to know each other. But I couldn't be there. I had something else. I didn't know what it was. But so the whole class already kind of knew each other. So I was like, the first time in class, I didn't know anybody. So I did notice Frenk, and he was sitting together with Mitchell, and they were like kind of the funny guys and making jokes in the class. So I was like, I think I will connect with these kind of guys. They have the same humor as I. So that was my first impression of Frenk. Yeah.
And the other way around?
Yeah, actually, same level. Yeah.
Okay. And how long from a moment like that to where you kind of think, well, we could work with each other. Maybe we can do some things together.
There was a long period in between, but he was producing music already at the moment, and he made like the really progressive kind of
sound.
And I liked the music, and I was kind of hobby DJing, so I was like, oh, this is cool. If you have some new tracks, give them to me, and I can play them. It's awesome. And after that, I did my internship at the bookings agency in Breda, and then I even tried to kind of be Frank's manager, and I was like, yeah, I should come over to the agency, and we should sign you, and all that kind of stuff. But
what did you think of his music at that time?
It was fucking awesome. He already made cool beats from the first moment I met him. So I was like, yeah, this is really cool music. This should be out in the open, and people should sign this kind of stuff. So in the beginning, we were friends, but I was also wanting to be his manager
or booker.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
And for you yourself, were you making music yourself?
No, I'm really not the producer kind of guy. But I was already DJing at that moment. Okay. And later on, at the job at the bookings agency, I wasn't feeling it anymore, and I was working for DJs, but I was also playing myself, so it was a bit strange when I got to the office on Monday, and my artists were sitting on the couch on a Saturday night, and I was playing. That was kind of weird, so I was like, yeah, maybe I should quit. Yeah. And at the moment, before I was having the feeling, and I called Frenk. I was like, yo, man.
Yeah. It was the summer of 2016, you called me, and I was already making music for other DJs, Ghost Production.
Sure.
But I didn't have that network to show my music to everybody. So Edwin called me and suggested, should we work together? And I was like, yeah.
And bundle our strengths. There's a really good combination at the moment, and it still is. So,
In that sense, how do you complement each other? What for instance, are your skills versus your skills?
Well, I need Edwin, and we have also a really good manager. They help me in giving feedback, because I can be sometimes a little bit too perfectionist.
Perfectionist.
Yes. Yeah. So they tell me, no, you have to change this or that, and then we can finish a track. So that's something that I think is really helpful for me.
I'm more like I can't produce, I can't even read notes and play instruments or stuff, but I have a really good ear for the music, more like an A&R kind of function. So when Frenk makes a track, we come together once a week, and I try to give feedback on his music, and I'm like, maybe you should change to-do into to-do, or add this or add that and lose this part. So that it works out really well.
Yeah. And was it always kind of I can imagine well, maybe not for you guys, but there's always a little bit of ego involved when somebody says, well, this isn't I don't like this part. Or was that easy for you to?
No, that's actually right what you say. Sometimes it's hard when you make something and other people are gonna give their opinion about it. It's like if you make a painting and somebody says, no, I don't like it, but you like it yourself really much. Sometimes that's really hard, but I learned along the way to cope with that. So,
and of course we both have like things we like, and from time to time Frank likes something that I don't like, and the other way around, of course. But we're working really close with our manager, and he's like our first person who hears the music. So when we have our differences, then we ask our manager, what do you think? And then most of the times the side he picks, then it's 2-1, and then it's like the guy who is on his own, he will be like, yeah, okay, if you guys both think it's okay or it's good, then yeah, let's go and give it a try. And then we send it over to Steve, and then he's the end boss, so he's like, yes, no, yes, yes. So.
But most of the time when Edwin or manager both say it's good, then most of the time it gets signed.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it starts with you, man.
Because do you kind of know when you're working on it that it's going to be good, or do you have sometimes do you have kind of like, this is amazing and then it doesn't work?
Well, let me see. Sometimes I just made a record like 2 weeks ago and I was like, yeah, it's really cool. But Edwin called me in the car and said, whoa, this is can I swear? Okay. This is fucking dope. And then our manager also WhatsApped us and is in our group chat, and he was like, wow, this is really cool. And they said, yeah, maybe you can send it to Martin and maybe he can play it during his during a show. So
that's good.
Yeah, I really, when I get really enthusiastic, then I like to call him, because what you said is like when you make something beautiful and other people think it's not that beautiful, then you get a feeling of, yeah, shit, what am I doing it for? But then the other way around, I also like to give people compliments when it's really nice. So I immediately called them in the car. I was like, dude, this is so dope. This is really a sick track. Yeah.
Which one was it, or is it not released yet?
No, it's like it's on the shelves right now.
Okay.
So.
So who knows?
Maybe this year. I don't know.
Fair enough. And in terms of the live shows, then, how did you adapt to kind of what you do in the live performance? Because do you have a strict division in that as well?
Not really.
The role divide. It's actually kind of like just two DJs who are playing a back-to-back set, because we play a back-to-back set. Like you play a track, I play a track, and that goes on for like 1 hour or 2 hours.
And also just see what works on the dance floor. Okay. So not preparing that much, just buy and download cool tracks and play them. Yeah.
And do you remember the first time you performed together?
Yeah.
Actually, I do. It was it the Breda Park or?
Like our official gig was actually the ADE 2016. It was on a rooftop, and that was really cool.
Okay.
Yeah,
both pretty nervous, but
it was the first Silque gig.
Yeah. So it's kind of an anniversary every time ADE comes around. That's fun. When you kind of decided, well, we're going to work together and this is working, we kind of complement each other, did you have a vision of what you wanted to do or where you wanted to go with the music? And
we did, and it changed like 180 degrees, but we had a vision.
Yeah.
Okay.
We sort of wanted to be the cool underground techno guys in the beginning, and playing Elro and all those kind of festivals. And then we got involved with Steve and Stamped, and they really appreciated our music, and we felt the warmth of people who actually want to work with us instead of trying to knock on doors and get your music out there and get releases at cool labels. And they asked us to release a track at their label, and we were like, yeah, should we do it? It's really commercial. We want to be the cool underground guys, and we walked out the door and we were like,
yeah, why don't we just give it a try?
Yeah, if the #1 DJ wants to sign your music, then it must be dope, and you better do it. And
and actually, that song was premiered on Danny Howard's show on BBC One, so that was really cool.
Yeah.
So it's a good start.
We made a good direction. Yeah.
But you raise an interesting thing, which is there's so much music these days. There's so much. So is it difficult to kind of navigate the whole industry and then knowing where you want to go and then being pulled in certain directions, and even like some people, like pop is a dirty word for some people and that kind of stuff. So is that always in the back of your mind, all those things?
Well, production-wise, I just go and sit behind my computer and I just make what pops up, you know. So at that time, I'm not like focusing on what's cool or just. Yeah,
I think.
But
it maybe took a while for us to really get our own Silque sound, and if you will check out all our releases, you can also hear it in the productions, because it goes from like really hard and deep tracks to melodic summer kind of vibes. And I think now for half a year or something we had a release which we really felt like this is so cool, and everybody was saying like, we cannot place this, what kind of genre is this? And at that moment we thought, okay, nice. If you don't know what it is, then it's really a unique own sound. And from that moment on, we kept on working on that kind of tracks.
And which song was this?
That's the question. Yeah, that's a good question. It's like the housey beats, but with some cool rap vocals
and electro kind of leads and basses and.
Sure, because is it one of those things where you're quite open to which direction you can go in? Because this is just my opinion, but these days I find genres don't mean that much anymore. But that's just my point of view.
And also because you have like 10 million subgenres.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah,
true.
If you would ask us what kind of genre do you make, I can't answer.
It's just music.
Yeah. People find EDM a dirty word, but when you explain the word electronic dance music, like all the subgenres, they honestly all are electronic dance music or EDM. So yeah, that's kind of how it goes, right? And then of course you have house, techno, hardstyle, all those kind of things. But
we kind of were talking about this before we turned the camera on. But that kind of distinction between underground and mainstream, is that a big thing in this industry? Do people talk about it a lot?
Well, we're not really have been that deep into the underground or that kind of stuff, so I don't really can have an opinion about it. But in where we are now, it's really nice, and it's like, I think then it's commercial, the EDM kind of world. But it's
fair enough. Yeah. There's one song I wanted to get in to a little bit, which is Fat, I think it's pronounced. So what was the starting point of that track?
I made that song that was in Fruity Loops. I work now in Ableton, but
why the switch?
The switch from Fruity Loops to Ableton, the workflow is so much better
Easier.
in Ableton, I think. And but referring to Fat, it was I love to listen to tech house, and there were some cool tracks I really liked, and then and that's how I also work. I try to listen to tracks for inspiration and then make something different. And that was actually Fat.
Okay.
And it's actually it's like a bass line with just a couple of notes, but it still flows and goes, and that makes it.
Fat was the first song we did on Stamped Records. That was the track which Steven heard, and after he wanted to meet with us, and Martin also really liked Fat, and that was a song which got us signed to the commercial world.
Right.
Because first of all, we wanted to sign the track to an underground label, but we didn't get any response, and then we signed it over to Stamped. So that was Fat was honestly the start for us to Stamped.
And I don't know exactly what the timeline was. When was this?
It was
release?
January 2018.
Yeah, that was the release, and the meeting was exactly 2 years ago during AD.
Okay, so a year and a half, 2 years ago is kind of where this song. How has your kind of the way you approach music and your life in a way changed in that year and a half since you signed with Stamped, and
what do you mean exactly?
In terms of kind of how did everything become different after you signed, or
you mean for us in our personal life or our taste in music, or
no, just kind of how you operate, kind of the shows you do, and kind of the day-to-day things. Did a lot of things change, or did you kind of operate the same way?
You get more attention, and especially like back in the days before the internet, people got fan letters, and I think we got somehow some more modern kind of fan letters in our Instagram DMs. So yeah, you get a lot of attention, and it's really cool to connect with people from all over the world and to try to give them feedback or to connect with them and answer the messages.
Final question then, what is the best comment or reaction you heard to your music?
Well, that's actually when we were talking about the genre. We got a comment like our latest release, Bad Chick, is so cool. You should get a special genre for your kind of style. So that was a nice compliment for me.
Yeah, true.
Excellent. Gentlemen, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.